peace, peace and blessing. So like, what I learned, what I've been learning is this verse in the Bible is significant. There is life and power, or there is power in the tongue. There's the power of life and death. I'm gonna find the quote exactly. When I was standing like on the side of the road in Arkansas, like I had prayed and I asked God to give me a message. And somebody stopped like in the pickup, old man in the 70s. He stopped and he sat and talked to me to the point to where the light went and he had to pick up and go. He fanned through 5 or so ones and he gave me 2. To me the 2 meant my 2 cents, like, and to me it was like a message from God, like this is my 2 cents. And like I started thinking about even like the movie Life where Claude had the $2. So like he told me, he was like, there's power in the tongue, the power of life and death. So that was the message that God was giving me, and I then began to understand what was going on. Things that like I've been like saying, even like these videos I make where I speak my mind, things I've said to people, things I've texted people, even things I've told people that get misconstrued, how they perceive what I say or how I say it. And even songs I sing, things I think, but it's really, once you speak it, it's into existence. Like we have a lot of feelings and thoughts that we cycle on, but it's like when you really sit and like you stay tuned to that station, that's when you begin to emit the frequency. You can cycle through it and you'll hear static, you'll pick up different things, but when you stay on the station, then you'll begin to play the vibration. So you begin to emit a vibration to the universe when you hold on to a feeling. And we're really here to feel the full spectrum of emotions. And it's really like running water. Water finds a path, and it changes form. At 32 degrees, it's a solid. At 33 degrees, it becomes a liquid. And at higher temperatures, I'm not sure the exact temperature yet, but it becomes a vapor or a gas. Alchemy. You're meant to transmute your emotions. And so if you hold a frequency, you'll stay at that frequency and you begin to emit that to the universe. People begin to pick that up in your body language and everything you do. And this is why I said, above all else, guard your heart. That everything you do flows from it. Be sober, be vigilant, for your adversary, the devil, is like a Roman lion, roaming the earth, seeking whom he may devour. That's the first time I've seen a snake since I've been here in Alabama. But everything was like huge, like the spiders, and like everything was just like different. fish. Like, I'm by the Coosa River, but even like, so you want to guard your heart, like, from emotion and holding on to emotion, you want to clear it out. You hold an emotion, you admit it. That's how you begin to manifest in everything you do. And it also sets the tune to your frequency like a radio station, and so your thoughts will be what you're feeling. You begin to think on that frequency. And so then your thoughts, you want to control your thoughts are not your own. You're separate from your thoughts and your emotions. This is what the eclipse symbolizes. The masculine and feminine meet. They become one. And so this is the Trinity. The three apart in the whole. So there's really different aspects of different things. The primary players or forces in all existence. But what you say, a lot of times we still manifesting like from even like middle school. Like, I grew up in the 90s. Like, I'm a 90s baby. Like, it's something to where listen to R. Kelly, listen to the, like, all the even the older than that, like, I'm thinking about, like, Switch. I'm thinking about, like, the Isley Brothers, the four Earth, Wind, and Fire. I'm thinking about even, like, not even just the R&B, like, every genre that I've listened to. Like, me repeating those lyrics, and I listen to, like, a wide range. Rock, metal, punk, rock, alternative, funk, soul, like, different types of rap, trap, like, techno, dubstep, like, it's something to where, like, I repeat this stuff. The frequency, the sound of the music, it sets me a vibration, like, it sets a tone for me. So it's like, as soon as it comes on, like, I allow the vibrations to, like, my body and my frequency to experience, like, harmonic convergence. And that's, like, where you dance and you, like, you flow with it. You flow with the vibration and you accept it. And so then you begin to flow in that frequency. And then the words, they're spells. The same way the ghost spells that we repeat, like in the Bible, the ghost spells of Jesus Christ. It's his spirit. And so that's his word. And so this is something to where words are portals. They bring spirit, and they're also spells. This is why, like, people refrain from using profanity, because a word is just a word, but it's what's tied to the word. When you say a word, you have imagery. Like, if I say apple, you then, like, you think of an apple, maybe a red apple, green apple, pink apple, maybe an apple core, like an apple flavor. You could think of anything, like, but words are powerful. And so this is why, like, if you use profanity is a lot of times linked to people's trauma. If someone were to use profane language, they are either witnessing an argument or, like, you know, some type of altercation, even experiencing, or they may have even used profane language while going through a traumatic experience. And so things like curse words, like, and they're usually said with a negative vibration behind them. out of like anger or spite or jealousy, or it's just like all these like, or hatred. Like it's like the words, they're powerful. Even when you read a book, like everybody, you can read a book in a classroom, everybody will have like a different image of how they imagine a character or a setting in their mind. There'll be a whole movie. And so words are very powerful. They even become chants, affirmations we say to ourselves, things that we hear over the radio, TV, movies, things that we read or see, reading and passing, things that people say around us, things people say to us, or things that we say to ourselves. Like those things become our thoughts. Those words, like they trigger thought. They trigger other thoughts and emotions. And so a lot of times, like throughout our lives, we've even repeated things that we don't even understand what we're saying. Like we pledged allegiance, which is something we recite, but it's literally saying something and promising something and agreeing with something and aligning with something and affirming something. Things like, even like for Easter, saying Easter poem or poetry, writing poetry, hearing poetry. That's what makes poetry so powerful. Is the way they use the words. The art of wordplay. And so when we like over time, like it's funny, like I was just thinking about how I was listening to R&B songs, like talking about relationships and experiences that I never like went to, but as a kid it's just like I'm singing it and I'm imagining it. And it's just like, you know, I'm listening to the frequency even sometimes about the love song. Like it's just got that feel to it, yeah, like it puts you in the mood. A mood that you want to feel, a good feeling, or a feeling of love, or compassion, or like even longing or appreciation. And sometimes like in R&B it could be like heartbreak, like it could be regret, it could be, you know, all these different emotions and expressions. But I would repeat it and sing it. Some of these songs become your favorite and you haven't even had these experiences yet. And so that's how we begin to even manifest, we imagine. Even by watching movies, we manifest. The things they say, we repeat. It's like, this age is going like, this age, we came up in an age where technology was begin to take over. This is the digital age. Everything is digital now. And that's a complete realm in itself. The spirit realm, the digital realm, the physical realm. Now mental illness is the new epidemic. And it's not just because everybody's like on prescription. It's because also with the food and the influence and the conceptualization of life and reality. But words are very powerful. You repeating things like that you don't even know, like what did you say? Things in other languages, like what did you say? I don't know. It sounded cool. Like you saying things that you don't completely understand. You saying things a rapper said, a singer said, your friend said, your mom said, your dad said, your cousin said, your girlfriend said, your children say. It's like, it's different, like, influence of like words and words and stuff. So it's like when we speak, we begin to manifest. We speak like, even when you open in the Bible, it talks about God manifesting, using words, speaking things into existence. And so even from a young age, like I'm on Saturn now, so it's like what I'm realizing, I'm in the crown chakra, and what I'm realizing is karma is also like what you speak, because word is bond. Word is bond. and words are spelled. When you speak to someone, whatever you say, whether you mean it or not, you said it, and they're going to receive it in such a manner based on the vibration that they feel from you. How you said it, the tone of your voice, was you using your arm? It's like, all these different factors weigh into delivering a message. And I got a Gemini stellium, and Gemini's with communication, so I've been studying communication a lot. And we communicate even more with just our words. But I'm talking about words particularly. But all these factors weigh in. Saying something if you don't mean it. And so the words, the spell, you chanting, you repeating, you affirming things to yourself. You thinking these words back in your mind, telling yourself things, speaking to yourself in a realm where only you can hear, or those that are gifted to hear. The universe can hear, God can hear your thoughts. And so your inner dialogue, not just your thinking, because you'll have thoughts, but you'll even speak with yourself or to yourself, which is unknowingly speaking to the universe and God. But this is something that's very deep. I even since I've been out here in Alabama, I actually talked about coming out here 2 years ago, working the jobs that I've previously worked since I've been out here. Since I've been out here, I worked 2 jobs, and I haven't been out here that long, but I manifested working those jobs, in factories, working with car parts. I spoke this into existence, I was on the phone. And so I spoke all of this. And then, even before I came here, I had a vision, and I had a series of visions. And once I see them, play out, I know that I'm in alignment with my path. I know I'm on the right path. That's why I've been learning on this walk of faith. Certain things will let you know you're in sync with the universe, and you're in alignment. When you begin to see certain numbers, you begin to hear certain things, see certain things. And so I just really begin to think about that. How I manifested my life as a child, speaking things into existence, and all to this very day. Even speaking things to other people, because everybody is you. And everybody is God, or God is. Everything, the water. This is why people pour libations and speak with the water spirits. The animals, the bugs, the trees. And so everything travels, vibration travels in a wavelength. And you're admitting and speaking with everything in existence. And so when you speak to someone, you're manifesting. So if I tell people I'm going to be a millionaire, or I am already a millionaire, and I'm receiving my money in lump sum, that's something I'm manifesting. But you can't be lukewarm. You can't be both ways. I've even learned that when you manifest, you have to manifest within the dimensions of this universe. like of this dimension. And so it's like you know, in the astral realm you can manifest like this. That's because the dimensions of the realm are different. And so in this dimension we have the illusion of time or alignment. Everything is just in constant motion and alignment. What we perceive as time, what we early base the time, is just the sun doing what it does every year, or every so often. It stays in, and that's what we perceive as time. The angles of the sun on the moon, which is why you have month, the 28 days, like the lunar cycle. And so I'm going off on a tangent, but in this dimension, the 7 Hermetic principles, one of those principles is duality. So if I were to, more money, more problems, that's the duality. Like if you want a larger house, more bills, a new car, if you have it credit, or if you buy it cash, like even if you buy it cash, like you're manifesting the problems that come with what you're having. So it's like, people say be careful what you ask for. And like you always see genies trick people in cartoons or movies. But somebody is giving you exactly what you asked for. You're just not fully conscious. But we go through experiences until we become conscious. And we have to accept the truth or live a lie. And so duality is one of those things. Like if somebody says, like, it's like when you're a kid, it's like, oh, I want to keep this cat. And then it's like, you're a kid. You don't know that, like, oh, the cat comes with, oh, the cat has to go to the bathroom. The cat has to eat every day. The cat has to be, eat and drink water every day. The cat needs these things. Like if you're so young, you don't understand it. But it's like, that's how we manifest with the universe. We say we're ready for these things, we want these things, but this is what comes with it. You're manifesting it. That's the duality of having anything. And that's, in essence, that's the love of accepting the good and bad. Integration, darkness and light. If you don't love your life, it's something you feel like you can't accept about yourself or your experience. If you don't love a person, you feel like there's something you can't accept about that person, which also just reflects back to you. Because everything truly is just the relationship that you have with yourself. What I'm also learning in the crown chakra is accepting. That is the connection. That is the integration. Once you accept. If you're running a program on a computer, there'll be data. And this data, like, when I used to have like an old Dell. And so like, if I get data, I'd like use LimeWire and all this shit, like hack, do all this shit. Like, and so if I take a file and I put it like on a SanDisk or a video game, like you could brick your video game console because of uncorrupt data. And so if data is uncorrupt on a hard drive, it can destroy the entire hard drive. It's like even how energy can travel through a circuit. The fuses are there to stop it from destroying the circuit. Instead, it'll just burn the fuse out, which a small, once, I believe it's aluminum, once heated at a certain degree, it dissolves. And so it breaks the circuit instead of destroying the circuit. It's for prevention. And so uncorrupt data. This is even why people like go to relationships and they feel like they can't stop thinking about somebody, or they can't because they haven't. There's corrupt data. There's corrupt data, and so they can't find closure. They can't process it to release it and understand it and accept it. And so it's that integration and acceptance which gives connection. And the absence, which leads to rejection, separation, war, indifference, and all the words. And so at the crown chakra, the masculine and feminine, and everything is in balance in this place. And that's what somebody says, like, the world doesn't just stop. The world keeps turning. Life goes on. Everything else just stays within this sun and moon, positive and negative, flow, alternating current. Everything. And that's our conceptualization of time, movement of energy. And in different realms, they move at different rates. Because time doesn't exist. Even within our own realm. If we were to activate our adrenal glands and release adrenaline, our heart rate would increase. And as we would perceive time, it would slow down. Because time doesn't exist. And it's relative to the being. Time is really just alignment. And while we're here on Earth, that's what we're following. There's many paths. There's infinite paths. In terms of quantum physics in the universe, there's infinite paths. Two mirrors facing each other. God and the universe. Gemini. The Venn diagram. The Trinity. And so, the tactic now. And so, what we are here on Earth doing is simply coming into alignment. And we're choosing, it's like we're on this roller coaster, but the roller coaster, like, if someone were to design the roller coaster, and this is just like being underneath the spell, or in the system, or you being asleep or a program. Sometimes, like, it'd be like you going to a roller coaster and having a ride built by somebody. But infinite, and so, like, that's like somebody being on a roller coaster. Like, if you're a child, like, your children could create this for you. You would go to school, your teacher could create it for you. You could be in your environment, you go to work, your boss, your team, you could create it for you. It's like a program. You being the rider, and you react in whatever way you react while going like as like, you know, where you're directed, doing your job, or behaving in your role. But in life, there's infinite possibilities. And so we don't wanna get on this track, like in this system, or be in this program of like what man created, but what God already designed for us when He created us, before He created us, the purpose of our creation. And so it's like through all these infinite possibilities, we have wonders, desires in our heart. We have imagination and curiosity in our minds, and we want to have all these experiences. But in the alignment of this roller coaster, we have like, we're at the top, like at born, like we're like, and it's like, and it starts, you know. A lot of that is pretty much controlled for us. And at some point, there's a deviation, and there's deviations after that, you know, just simply after birth. But this aligns us with infinite possibility, where we have free choice. And so this aligns us with, we come into alignment by doing, being, and speaking. Doing, being, and speaking. Being what we are and what we are admitting. Speaking, like the spells and the words, and the doing, like the actions that we take. Even though speaking is an action. But, you know, whatever actions we take. And that becomes our ritual, which decides our path. But we can change this through the angles of the day. But a lot of times we tend to do this, we stay into this consistency when we want to align with certain things. When we want to manifest certain things, we take ritual and we stay in the consistency to align with that path. And we stay balanced so that we align with that path. One day, like, I was in Colorado, I was at a bar, and I had like a lot of beer and a few cigarettes. And the guy tells me, and he was like, "You want to hear something wise?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "He's going to trip you out." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "There's a fork in the road. What do you do?" And I said, "What?" He said, "There's a fork in the road. You're going down the road, a path, and there's a fork in the road. What do you do?" And I said, I laughed and was like, "I don't know what." I'm like, you know, I'm guessing to hear like chicken butt. Like what I hear is like, he says, there's a fork in the road, and you come to it, you check the course, and you fly straight. He said, "That's it, man. That's the key to life." If I made movies, or I had like, I would always have like, I would have that mystical stoner dude that like comes to some place, like, cause he's really like a shaman, where he comes to like some place and he's just like, you know, like he always finds some kind of like mystical place like to go smoke, like to where you like never noticed before, but it's just like right there, like, oh, this is kind of cool. And like they say something to you that like, that's so profound, like it kind of sticks with you. But like he said, he says there's a fork in the road, you check the course, and you fly straight. And he said that's the key to life, man. And I really like, as like, that's grew with me over years, and it's just like, I look at that in terms of quantum physics as aligning with the infinite possibilities of manifesting. And the fact that walking by faith intuitively, we know this path. And when we are connected with God and we have faith, this is the path that we walk. And all things, the good and the bad, that's what we balance inside of us, not outside of us. Work to the good of those that love the Lord. And so he said, check the course and you fly straight. So you want to be your most authentic self is what I'm also learning. And so if things don't align with your core values, uh, with your expectations, your standards, you're choosing. You're choosing. Even if you want to be nice, or even if you like, and this, I had a friend that was very particular, and a lot of people didn't like her. They always had something to say about her, but I like that she kept it real. Even if we went out to eat or something, like, she could spend $10-15 on it. She'll like, I don't like it. And some, like, anybody else would be like, what? They'd even like, well, I paid for it. No. You're perpetuating the same trauma that you were passed on from your parents. I paid for this, I should eat it. I went this far. I already invested this much time. I said I was gonna do it. XYZ, like, okay, well, if you said you were gonna do it, that's something like, if that pertains to your morals and values, like, well, I said I was gonna do it, so I'm gonna do it. And word is bond. You follow through. But I'm saying, there's certain things in our life that we are choosing, and it could be based on our own programming. You're not supposed to be putting yourself back together. I keep seeing these monarch butterflies fly by, symbolizing transformation and rebirth. And we're in April, and this is spring, and Easter is just recent, just passed about a week ago. And it's about the rebirth, the death and rebirth of Jesus Christ, symbolizing Christ consciousness. And the 40 days of Lent is to prepare you to receive the download from the sun. And its energy. And we're not supposed to be going back to our old ways. We're supposed to be reborn. It's a new year, it's a new day. And so when you break the cycle, you're deciding to stop continuing the programming. Like, at some point you have to acknowledge the part where you play in your own suffering. And so, like, do you know what you're doing? Do you know what you're asking for? Do you know what you're speaking? Do you know what you're manifesting? Do you know what's in front of you? Do you know yourself? Or are you just decorating inside, like you decorate the outside of your body? With everything that you see, every energy you see that you like. Are you being a product of your programming in your environment? Are you innovating? This is the age of the Are you being a pioneer, a trailblazer? It's the age of the Aquarius. And so, check the course and fly straight. This is like what you making decisions, what you like going in directions. Like, I've been reading the Bible more to understand, like, and align more with God's will for my life. And so it's certain things, like, you will know somebody by the fruits of their spirit, like increasing my discernment, knowing like what to do and not to do in certain situations. So it's like, that's helping give me guidance. But even if you weren't to use religion, you may go by a set of rules of the game, or rules of like how you were brought up, or to your understanding of how you do things. Like in Rome, do as the Romans do. It could be, instinct or intuition. And instinct is more aligned with your psychological programming, psychological and physical programming. Your DNA. Your intuition is a higher frequency and a higher understanding. He also, another guy told me this, like, he had PTSD. He was a veteran. He used to carry a guitar. Smoke it. He came and saw me one day. I smoked. He said he wanted to smoke. He had some bud. He's like, let's go smoke, bro. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, teach me how to play guitar. He plays a little bit. I joke around. But what he says to me, like, when we begin to smoke, he says, this is before, like, they legalized it. I was in Illinois, close to about an hour from Chicago. And so I began to, before we began smoking, he says, he takes a puff and he says, inhale the good shit, and he says, exhale the bullshit. Inhale the present and exhale the past. And so when I hit it and he said inhale the present, like in the present, like when he said that, I inhaled, and the present moment was, this shit was dank. This shit like had me like, it was like, it had crystals and stuff, like I was, you know me, like I got high in that moment. The breath is, there's consciousness in the breath. And so in that moment, I bind it with the spirit of the marijuana. And I began to experience euphoria, and he's like, exhale the past. I'm just like all that stress and shit I had, like all, you know, all the bullshit I was worried about and all that, it just went. And now I'm seeing this, I'm thinking about Guru Kati. Let it flow down the river. Okay. And now that I'm thinking about that, I'm facing the same issue that Ang had with guitar. And it's funny because I'm a Gemini and she has a Cancer rising. But, yeah. What I was going to say? Strange, which is connected to the crown chakra. Block head person. Real secret. And now it's come to give the message. We do not bend the energies. What does he say? We bend the energies within ourselves. To give this spiritual message. There's a current. But yeah, another thing I've been dealing with was letting go of the past. Like, in the Bible it says, forgive 77 times. I'm wearing like Krenite now because this is the stone of the healer. And somebody put me on to this. And today is actually their B-Day. And so this is the stone of the healer, and it's for the higher heart chakra. So I've moved out of the heart chakra into the higher heart, where I am learning to express and understand selfless love. And the heart I've been dealing with self-love, sacrificial love, and unconditional love. And now in the higher heart, I'm dealing with selfless love, as this would be more so like a duty. Somebody told me, like, you don't do what you feel like doing, you do the right thing. And so it's like when you align, like, whatever morals or values or conceptualization of life, even if you don't, like, believe in all that stuff, most people understand the concept of karma. And so simply, like, having basic, like, human understanding and, like, treat people like how you would want to be treated. But it's also like, I've been listening to Jay-Z, like this Jay-Z verse, treat your first like your last and your last like your first. It's also what I'm learning the crown chakra, like as I'm moving through progressions, I'm not supposed to be attached to anything. And so if you treat something like a situation like it is, you could treat a situation like it is a person, like how you feel about them. Or like, say like, if you had a child, you wouldn't treat them like they're a bad person, even if they do bad things. You may chastise them, you may let them know right from wrong and things. And they may even still choose to do wrong, or they may try to do right and still accidentally do wrong. Regardless, you would treat them, if you love them, the way you would want them to be, like, good or in the right path, as you would judge it, or common, like, standards of your environment, or like your this, like, I'm kind of like, I kind of went blank line, but you would treat them like a good person. And so karma is like, what I'm learning is, this is why, like, while I was learning a lot about and reading about the resurrection of Christ, like what I'm learning about in the crucifixion, what I'm learning is the reason he says forgive them for they know not what they do. The reason he says bless those who curse you, and you forgive 77 times. The reason he says this is for you. It's the ego that thinks like we're separate, that wants to compete, that experiences rejection or indifference. It's all the ego. And so when he says forgive them, they know not what they do, we don't understand that when we do something to someone, we really do it to ourselves. There is no separation, and the person in front of us is just a mirror. And so if you're not forgiven 77 times, you've decided an extent to your love, which has created a block in your heart chakra. Not the other individual. They may go on living their life and not think twice of it. It's you that's stuck on it. And so you have to forgive if you want to be free. Love does not keep record of wrongdoing. And so this is not like, it's not a thing about forgive and forgive, but it's a thing about like understanding and forgiving, and not holding something against someone. Like in the Bible, it says like forgive, like in the Lord's Prayer in the Bible, it says like in the Lord's Prayer, it says forgive those of our trespasses, or forgive us of our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And so everything is really about us, our own individual relationship with ourselves and God, which is, one and the same. And so In the crown chakra, you're not supposed to hold on to the past. That's an attachment. Everything is moving and flowing like this river, like the sun, like everything. Life is going on. A lot of times when we have trauma, like we stop, we get stuck, and people experience trauma in different dimensions or different chakras. Like if you're experiencing, you may experience in the root chakra is fight, flight, or fear. You may experience it in the mind as brain fog, anxiety. You may experience that in the solar plexus. And so these are traumas, there's points where we get stuck and blocked. And so once we process that corrupt data, we then can like reboot and repair the system. Once we remove those blockages, we then can like flow through. The energy can flow through you. In every system within the body, and within the physical body and the spiritual body, is simply connected. And so, if you're attached to who you were, this will stop you and block you from who you become. If you don't forgive someone, this could block you from having certain experiences within your life. And the thing about God is, He works in mysterious ways. And so you simply not applying this principle or this commandment in your life, you could have meant to do something as simple as go and talk to somebody that you refuse to speak to. Or for you to go and do something with somebody that you don't want to go and do. Like you don't want to be around that person. And you don't know that the lesson was for you to forgive, and through that, it was gonna lead you to something else. Because anything like connecting with a person, it opens opportunity, and it changes the outcome of your future, and it aligns you with certain possibilities. Connecting with somebody or not connecting with somebody. And so that's important. Everything is like important. Every principle is important. And at the crown chakra, it's like they all come together. As you see the petals like increase, like, or like as you see the petals multiply like through the chakras, once it reaches the crown, like the 144,000, like it's like they're all intertwined and they're applied. Because the crown chakra is also about transcendence. You cannot transcend, like, and this is the part of like, if you see like the movie Jumper, where you see, or you hear people talk about quantum leaping, you can't transcend if you're stuck spiritually. Like you can't transcend. Like you're in a relationship, but you're thinking about your past relationship. You're in a relationship with a person, you say you want to experience love, but you're thinking about all these other past relationships, and you're not really over this, or you're still entertaining these people. It's like you're going against what you're manifesting. If you feel like you want to work at a job, but you're in the job and you're like, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like the boss, I don't like my coworkers, I don't even want to be here, I'm not going to show up. It's like you're going against whatever you manifest. whatever you're manifesting, the same way, like, if it was like a marriage, when you manifest something, you give birth to it. Like, recently I've been learning about soul babies, about how they actually choose their parents, like, before they come to earth, which is like kind of dope, and like, which kind of like makes like sense. We don't understand that, like, our parents that we get, not only do, like, we choose, like, the genetics, we are, which, like, give us the avatar of, like, to fulfill our purpose, but it also, like, we choose them for experiences and lessons and things, like, and so it's like, even if it's something to where you feel your parent was absent, or they were present and didn't give you what you feel you desired, it's like, whatever lessons that you would learn, it's a reason that, like, you chose them, and it's also in your astrology, which is crazy. But it's, when we manifest something, you have to choose it consistently. And this sign is air, which is Aquarius, and, or in this chakra, the crown chakra is air, which is Aquarius, and earth, which is Capricorn. And so you have to choose this consistently, and you also have to, Aquarius are very calculated. And so it's about calculation and consistency, connection, and follow through. And so when you manifest, like, you have to, when I say you have to be calculated, it's like, this is why people, they write spells. It's like you're being, like, precise with what you're doing, like, on this date of the month, because I want to manifest, you're consciously creating. And so it's like, I'm using these energies consciously, and this is exactly what I want, and this is when I want to receive it. And so you're consciously being manifesting. When we get here, we're manifesting unconsciously. We're using words, we're holding frequencies, we're eating things, we're going in environments, we're hanging with certain people, we're doing things, watching things, and we're just doing stuff. We're just living life, we're just experiencing. And so we haven't came into enlightenment, to where we then begin to choose to consciously create or go back to sleep. And so in the crown chakra, when you transcend, if you notice the villains in the movie Jumper, the villains were these guys with this pride, and they would jolt them with electricity, which would disrupt their chakra system. And so this would be like the trauma. And like, you know, like when a bull gets out into the ring, it runs around and, you know, for a minute it's distracted. And it's just angry, it's focusing on this emotion, and it's not focused on what's going on, the color red. Like, and so it's like, trauma's like, they keep us in loops and patterns and curses and spells. And they keep us in the past, or they keep us, our chakras blocked. And so this is what the demons or the negative forces, the different, like, entities, like, against you, which you think they're against you, but they're actually for you. And they actually believe in you more than you believe in yourself, believe it or not. That joke. But I was gonna say, that was going on. They're actually for you. God uses all things, the good and the bad, will work for those that love the Lord. We don't understand that we need these negative experiences. And when we truly come into acceptance, we'll actually be grateful for it. We'll find it. Once you come into true, like, the true understanding of, like, the totality, like the big picture, it's like you really don't know a lot. You really don't know. You really don't know that you went through this, but you could have went through this. You really don't know that you went through this, but you've avoided this, and that. You really don't know. You don't know that you went through this and you actually just cleared your karma for you and your bloodline. You really don't know. And so we go through like, when he get jolted, he wouldn't be able to use his power to jump. So you can't quantum leap if you're still attached. And this is why the chakras are so crucial to manifestation. You have to do the shadow work. You have to open the chakras. You have to detox. You have to know yourself. You have to be able to control yourself. Be sovereign. And once you know yourself and you've done all these things, you can then begin to manifest. Consciously. You're always going to be manifesting. Then you could then consciously begin to manifest in quantum leap. That's when you see people come into success. They're all in. Some people just drop everything and I'm just all in. They're able to do it like that. Like, I don't know, this is just what I love. They follow their heart. This is what I love to do. I don't know anything else. This is what I love and this is what I do. And I'm successful at it. I'm good at it. Other people, they're just like, well, I tried it and it was going good. And then, well, you know, this got in the way and that got in the way. People who really get their manifestations, they're all in. Nothing gets in the way. Those are just excuses. They're just excuses. When you really want something, you're all in it. You're all or nothing. And that's manifestation. That's transcendence. That's when you transcend. When the butterfly comes out, it's not coming out like half caterpillar body, like, you know, and just like, you know, 2 wings. Like you seen in A Bug's Life where it was still the caterpillar and the wings, like, I'm a beautiful butterfly. Like, no, you're halfway through transition because you haven't committed. You haven't decided. And even if you made the decision, the universe is not just like, okay, I've decided. Okay, good. No, it's like the same way. It's dimensions in this layer. So within you, you have to make these decisions. With all the elements, with all the chakras, with your mind, your body, your heart and soul. And that's when you come into alignment. And that's when you transcend. And that's when you're able to quantum leap. You will literally go through portals. You'll be on a level like things will just come to you. They'll just open up to you. And you'll see those people. They may change through the ages. If their chakras may, what happened, dude? Oh, this happened, that happened, this happened. Oh, what happened? You'll see that like in the movie Soul, you'll see somebody like in their 22 stage, like, you know, that dark stage, or a hollow, like if you look at like Kingdom Hearts, it's like they're in that darkness to where they don't know themselves, their chakras blocked, they don't know who they are, they don't even remember why they're doing this or what they're doing. And so it's like, that's the transcendence. I was gonna make a song about couch surfing. I was a hippie in my 20s. Had real long dreads. I smoked weed like habitually, like religiously, like therapeutically. But competitively. But no, like I used to couch surf. And this was just like ending up on friends' couches, like in different, like I'd even be in different cities, different parts of town, different states. And it's like I would intuitively follow, like I'd get high out of my mind and I'd intuitively follow. Like, I go on this walk of faith and I am totally following. It's like I be following my heart. And so it's like the love that it'd be the love that was really leading me. Even like different emotions like love, excitement, curiosity, wonder, money, like any of these vibrations that I would attune to, I would then set off on this path and search. And it's just like the water. That's the last element. Even the water bearer. The only separation between air and water is density. And so a lot of people say God is water. Water is life. Water is information. Water is alive. You can cleanse with water. You can heal with water. You can manifest with water. And while you're in water, you can literally go through dimensions. And some people even speculate that since NASA and all of that is a bunch of baloney, people even speculate that it's not really out her space, Mother Earth, but in her space, within the sea, which they get free. And where we see new life forms surfacing. New species are discovered coming from in her space. Out of the womb of the earth. Hurrah. Hurrah. It makes me think about Alter Beats. Hurrah. But yeah. Transcendent. Portals. Magic. Understanding like all these concepts and these words, like the etymology of these words and the spiritual meaning of these words, and knowing quantum physics, knowing yourself like this. This is a portal. You have the hot. If this was a circuit, which this is what powers the portal. This is the hot. Or the positive end, the fire, the air. This is the negative end of the portal. This is the earth and the water. And so this is the end where I pull through the portal. Which transcends my consciousness. Binding me, releasing the spirit. The spirits are released in different realms, like in the gas realm and the water realm, within the earth, within our vessel. This is the spirit of the earth, along with like chemicals and the humans that manufactured it. Inside, like, is the tobacco from the earth, and so this is the earth spirit of tobacco, to which the portal through this cigarette is coming through the portal and entering my vessel, shifting my consciousness, integrating me with the spirit, or breathing of the earth, integrating me with consciousness. The only separation is density, the ozone layers and the layers of the water. The water's below and the water's above. The water bears and the ice. Life is but a dream.